Welcome everyone to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Hope you had a great day or having a wonderful start to your day. We are continuing on our recap journey of Bhagavad Gita and we are on chapter 3 right now. And today we are going to talk about the genesis of Vedas themselves, right? Vedas. They are the manuals for life. And how did they come about, right? And of course, they got compiled later on. So we'll talk a little bit about it in the different branches, how the Vedic knowledge gets disseminated. We'll talk about all those concepts and much more like we always do. So welcome everybody, a very warm welcome again. We will get started. Let me share my screen and we will get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru like we always do. So give me a sec. Are you able to see my screen? All right, great. Okay, we have a hard stop at 10, so we will pace it accordingly. All right, so let's get started. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right. Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening once again. So we invoke the blessings of God and Guru. And today we are going to talk about the original Jagat Guru as well briefly as part of the discussion that we're going to have. So let's get started. The shloka that we are on right now is 3:15. We are technically on chapter 4, but we'll get there, okay? So please have patience. Once we do the recap complete, we'll get back to chapter 4. And from 4:31 onwards, we'll do one verse a day like we always do. These are the sessions we are doing for the benefit of new joinees, so they can get up to speed on some of the key concepts. But regardless, even if you're joining now, it's never too late because we keep on, rehashing the key concepts for the benefit of everybody. And you are always welcome to post your question in the feedback tracker, and we can have a one-on-one personally also. Hopefully get to clarify your doubts so that you're up to speed on what we are discussing. So let me recite it like always, and then you are welcome to follow along. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshar Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagye Pratishtitam. All right.
Yeah. Radhe Radhe everybody. Yeah. By today I am a co-host. Samji.
And your prerogative to call whom you want to call today. Okay, you are a leader now. Anyways, one of the seva.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. Samji, Radhe Radhe.
Which Sam you are talking about? Me? Okay. Karam Brahma Bhavam Vidhi Brahmakshra Samuddavam Tasmat Sarvagatim Brahma Nityam Yajne. I think I missed it. Yajne
Pratishtitam. Thank you, Samji. So Samji, you got pipped by another Samji. So yes, Sam, over to you. Who's the next one?
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe?
No, the hand raised first should get 20 bonus points. And the one who recited best should get 30 bonus points. Sorry. I'm making fun. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Egne Pratishtitam.
Wonderful, Sam. Very nice. I would like to call, sorry, Shyamji, I'm going to steal your thunder and call Shri Ramya ji. She's turned on her video today and she's going to be one of our Seva leads as well. So let's give her a chance because she rarely turns on her video and comes up for recitations. Please go ahead.
Thanks. I turned on my video so that Shamji doesn't miss me today. Karma Brahmothavam Vidhi Brahmaksharastamudbhavam Tasmat Sarvatatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Radhe.
Thank you, Shri Ramesh. Radhe Radhe. Okay, maybe we can pick up 3 more hands. We have some content to cover plus a hard stop, so we'll pick up 3 more today.
Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagye Pratishtitam.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sandhya.
Surendra ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Surendra ji.
Radhe Radhe Prabhu, thank you very much. Karma Brahmodabhavam Vidhi Brahmakshar Samudbhavam Tasmat Swargatam Brahma Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam. Radhe Radhe.
Wonderful. Radhe Radhe. Okay, we'll take maybe 2 more hands and then we'll get started.
Surya Prakash ji, Radhe Radhe.
Okay.
Radhe Radhe, Nitinji. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam.
Wonderful, Surya Prakash ji. One last hand and then we get started.
Uday Kumar ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Uday ji.
Radhe Radhe. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam.
Thank you, Anjuji. Radhe Radhe. So sorry. I think we'll have to get started. We have some hard stop today and good amount to cover as well. So Ragiji and Riyaji, you will get preference tomorrow. So in this one, Lord Krishna is saying the duties for human beings are described in the Vedas. So in continuation with what we have spoken about, the duties, right? The prescribed duties, how they are important or incumbent upon us to perform just because of the fact that we are born as humans. So prescribed duties are needed. And then Lord Krishna spoke about the spirit of sacrifice. We'll continue on that. And then he goes on to say, where is the manual? See, if this whole game, if this creation is created and a manual is not provided, then it is a very unfair game. It's like, here's the product called life, creation, and here is the manual. Okay, the irony is we use the product and don't even bother to look at the manual, right? So Bhagavad Gita is basically the distillation or the extract or the cream of Vedas, which is a manual for life. So where is it described? It is described in the Vedas is what Lord Krishna is talking about. And the Vedas, they are manifested by God himself. They are not created by an author, a Jivatma who has an intellectual capacity. It is created by God himself. Therefore, the all-pervading God is eternally present in the acts of sacrifice. Now, he is himself written about what do's and don'ts, vidhis and nisheds, what is a sacrifice, what is a yagna. And he's himself present in that particular act as well. So let's try to understand this concept. But before that, this is what we are going to talk about today. We'll get a little bit into the history of Vedas. How do Vedas manifest? Okay, and what are the different means through which we can get access to the knowledge of Vedas? Okay. Now here you see Lord Vishnu. Too many cosmic universes are coming out of it. So let's understand, how does it basically pan out? Okay, now it all starts with the Golok Vrindavan Vihari Krishna is called the Param Purush in our scriptures. Okay, if you go to our scriptures, Gopal Tapani Upanishad or even Bhagavatam, it very clearly talks about who's the Param Purush. You may call it with any name, but scriptures very clearly tell us the Param Purush is Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. Okay, people may call him with Jehovah, Allah, or whatever name you may want to give it, but he's called the Param Purush. Now, one of the planetary expansion of Param Purush is called Karno Dikshai Vishnu, Mahavishnu, who's the president of the material universe. So the entire material universe is governed by Mahavishnu, the one that you see on the right hand side, who is leisurely sleeping, and through every pore of his body universes, they keep on getting disseminated, but he's the governor of this material universe. He's the planetary expansion of the Pratham Purush, basically Param Purush, and he's also called Pratham Purush. So Pratham Purush is the planetary expansion of the Param Purush. There's no higher or lower. It's just an expansion. It's a swansh or the same tattva. Then through Pratham Purush comes Garbho Dikshai Vishnu. He's called Dvitiya Purush. Okay. And through Dvitiya Purush comes Brahmaji. He's also called secondary creator. Okay. Now the key point here to understand is Brahmaji is not one. There are multiple universe itself seems like uni one, right? But there are multiple universes, and each universe has its own set of trinity, which is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Then what happens when Brahmaji comes? How does Brahmaji come? Okay, we'll get into that a little bit. And then the Dvitiya Purush, the planetary expansion of Dvitiya Purush is called Kshirodakshai Vishnu, which is called the maintainer. He's called Tritiya Purush. Now, Kshirodakshai Vishnu is the one which is seated within us also, which is also called Paramatma. Right? In some of the traditions, especially in Ashtanga Yoga, within Sanatan Dharam, the focus is to get united in yoga or union with Paramatma, which is a super soul, which is Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So Kshirodakshai Vishnu also notes down our karma. He's the one who's noting down every sankalp, every thought that comes to our mind, which gets logged as a karma. So that is Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So it's called the maintainer or the Tritiya Purush. Now through the creator or the Dvitiya Purush comes Brahma. But like I said, it is Paramatma also. Now Brahma comes from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Okay. Now he comes from the navel. And then when Brahmaji comes, as you see, Brahmaji looks young. Okay, it's very small here, but typically you would have seen Brahmaji old with the beard and all. We have spoken about the age of Brahmaji, right? 100 years and one kalpa of Brahmaji is like that whole fascinating calculation. I'm not going to get into that. But apparently he grows old, right? By the end of his tenure. Brahmaji is a Jivatma, right? You and I can become Brahmaji as well. Okay, by sufficient austerities, and our scriptures talk about the process. Even Indra wants to become Brahma. Of course, it's not a straightforward path. However, he's also considered as the biggest devotee of God because of the service, outstanding service that he renders. He ends up becoming God realized after his tenure. And there are times when there is no eligible soul suitable enough to play the role of a Brahma. God himself takes on the role of a Brahma as well. That has also happened. It's like Indian Army. If you don't feel, fulfill the eligibility criteria, he's not going to compromise. Okay, let me just try with Indra this time around. He himself takes on that role. Okay. Now, when Brahmaji comes from the navel, what happens is, this is how it is explained. This tapa, he's not able to, this is how our scriptures define it. So when Brahmaji comes out in the Kshir Sagar, Vishnu is lying down and all, he can see the sound, codified sound of tapa, right? And then he does devotion, and that's when he starts basically decoding that sound, and that is Vedas. That is how God manifests the Vedas. And then using that knowledge, Brahma starts creating the creation as well, which is modern science says Big Bang. Right? The cycle, everything rolls back into Mahavishnu, and then again it's unleashed. When it is unleashed, when you can date it back, science calls it Big Bang, but multiple Big Bangs happen in our history. They've happened. We have no ways to know that. And that's when the time starts. We are in the 7th Manvantar for that Big Bang, by the way. So this is how it comes. So the key point here is the Vedas, they get manifested as soon as the creation comes. And they are also called Apurushe. That means they are not written by any human being. They are beyond Apurushe, and also called Shruti Praman. It is not something that is written. It gets from oral tradition, from master to disciple. And that is how the Vedas come about. Now let's look at some of the entry points to the Vedas here. Now, okay. Now Vedas, they emanate from the breath of God. How did it from the breath of the God? So if you look at it, this Brihadraranyaka Upanishad, it says that it comes from the breath of God. I hope you're able to see the breath. Right? It is moving. So that is how the breath is. Okay, of Mahavishnu, and that is how the Vedas, they get manifested. It doesn't take an author or some technology for Vedas to get manifested. Vishnuji desires and breathes, the universes get manifested, and the Vedas come about as well. Okay, every time this creation comes about. And then The Ved Vyas means Vyas is one who compiles it. Okay, who did the division. So in primarily there are 4 branches of Vedas: Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, and Atharva Ved. Okay, these are the 4 categorization or the compilation of Vedas done by Ved Vyas for the benefit of humanity. And Ved Vyas is Chiranjeevi. He's still alive. He was there at the time of Mahabharata also. And if you want to meet him, you can go to I think Badrinath, or not Badrinath, I forgot that particular ashram. You can find him there. Okay, whether he meets you or not is a second question, but he's supposed to be residing there. And Shankaracharya, when he came, he actually did a Shastrarth with him and defeated him. And then Vedvyas said, yes, now you're ready to go and out and preach it as well. So Vedvyas is Chiranjeevi. He's going to remain through the end of Kali Yuga. And same is Hanumanji as well, by the way. Now, if you do sufficient devotion, maybe you'll get their darshan one day, but they are Chiranjeevi. They are very much present. Okay. Now let's go. So these are eternal Vedas. Duties of humans have been laid down. Now, this is the manual of life that we talk about. So when we get a product, we typically read the product manual to understand how it operates, how we should use it or how we should not use it. Right? If you start using your microwave like a television, right, or television like a microwave, funny things can happen. So same thing goes with human life as well. It's important to, like it says, right, in Vedanta Sutra, the first thing that Vedvyasa wrote is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. That means when you are born as a human, which is a huge blessing, it's like hitting a jackpot. Then Athato Brahma Jigyasa means inquire who you are. Where have you come from? What is your relationship with God? What is the goal of life? These questions are incumbent, obligatory on us to seek answers to when we are born as a human, and ignorance is not a bliss. Okay, so the manual for human life, the buck will stop at Vedas. No matter which tradition you are on, the buck will stop in Vedas. It is nothing to do with Hinduism. Hindu term came pretty much later, right? Like Swamiji beautifully says, Krishna chose to be born in India. So that doesn't mean he's an Indian. Okay, Krishna is universal. He's God. You may call it with any name. You may have limited understanding of it based on the tradition or your understanding that you have. But our scriptures explain very clearly who God is, how he goes about creating this whole creation. Brahmananda Valli even goes into the extent of telling how every element is created here, right? And what is the goal of life? So that is what our scriptures or Vedas are. So this is a quick history of Vedas, and then let's look at some of the entry points to Vedas. Now Vedas, there are called Astik Darshans within Vedas, which are these 6 of them, which is called Vedant, Mimamsa, Nyaya Darshan, Visheshik Darshan, Sankhya, and Yog Darshan. Right? Like Patanjali Yog Sutra is there. If you are of analytical bent or mindset, then Sankhya Yoga is there. Nyaya Darshan is there. Right? Nyaya Darshan is the one which talks about very logically, it explains things, and that's where it talks about the Bhakti Marg and the Gyan Marg. I was looking at the previous session, it was talking about Kishore Markat Nyay, like Bhakti Marg is where it's like being carried by like a cub by a cat, and Gyan Marg is like holding on to the mother like a monkey's child does. The onus is on the child to hold on to the mother when it jumps from one branch to another. If the grip is loosened, the kid will fall. So that means on the Gyan Marg, you are pretty much on your own. In Bhakti Marg, the mother takes care of you, carrying you from one point to another. And all of that is explained in Nyaya Darshan. So Nyaya Darshan is the one which tackles a lot of questions very systematically, logically. Right? And similarly, we have all these other darshans, which are nothing but the cream of Vedas and presented in from different lenses and perspectives, depending upon the appetite of the sages that followed. However, it's not a good practice for you to start reading Vedas on your own. You'll get confused, okay? Because it's so vast and so profound that with our limited intellectual capacity, we will end up getting confused and may even become an atheist if, two contradicting things come. Now, within that, the Vedant one is the most popular one, Vedant Darshan. Within that, there are different categories: Achintya Bheda Bhed, Dvaitvad, Visheshik Advaitvad, Vishuddha Advaitvad, Dvaita Advaitvad, Advaitvad. And within Advaitvad, again, Drishti Srishti, Avachedavad, Bimba Pratibimbavad, Vivartavad, Ajatavad, right? So there are so many categories around it. However, we don't have to get confused around that. They are just the different lens that the different saints have employed to explain the same concept. Right? Kripaluji Maharaj is actually one of the title he got was Samanvaya Acharya. He actually reconciled all of that. It's just like everybody's explained it from one lens, and then the disciples, they start saying that is the absolute truth. It's just like that story of five blind men who pick up one part of that elephant and say this is the truth, this is the truth, and then when you look at it holistically, all are saying the same thing. They are referring to the same entity. Okay, so these are the different ways through which you can understand Vedas. Now, Vedas is not something that you can consume on your own. Like, it's not a physics, chemistry, or a novel that you can read through and understand. They are divine because they are manifested by God Himself, and hence you need a God-realized guru to work with to understand Vedas. Right? When you're not feeling well, you go to a doctor, and if doctor says take this pill, but take it 2 times a day for next 10 days, and then that will set you right. Now, you don't use your own intellect. You don't say, okay, if I have to take 2 times next 10 days, that means 20 doses, let me take it all together. If you do that, that will not work. So you have to surrender your intellect to the doctor. Similarly, we have to surrender it to a lawyer. When we are in those kind of situations, lawyer will say this, don't say this. You are not obliged to talk. So we have to surrender our intellect to the people who have that expertise. So in spiritual knowledge, it has to be a guru. But the guru should have the qualification of Shrotriya and Brahmanist. That means not only they should understand all the scriptures, all the things that are laid out in front of you, they should be able to pull out anything from anywhere and be able to explain it to your satisfaction, but also realized. That is Shrotriya and Brahmanist. If they are not realized, then it is all theoretical understanding. It is mere information. It is not wisdom. So if a guru meets these two qualities, then you can work with your guru, and then all these scriptures will start making sense. In fact, guru has an ability to install it in you. You don't even have to study it. So when you are becoming Sharanagat, when you start increasing your Sharanagat bhav, you may wake up one day and all the scriptural knowledge is residing within you. You don't even have to study that. That is the beauty of Bhakti Marg, and that is the beauty of the Sharanagat bhav when we start developing it towards Guru. So anyways, this is what Vedas are. Now let's get into the topic. Right? God is saying that I have written all the rules and regulations and pretty much everything that you need to know in Vedas. Okay, so let's have a quick synopsis of what we need to discuss today. Now, there are 3 modes of material nature, right? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. We have already gone through this. Sattva is mode of goodness. Rajas is mode of passion. Tamas is mode of ignorance. And we all have these 3 modes in us. They keep on fluctuating throughout the day, every moment. And different people have a different combination of that. So 2 people having exactly the same combination it's impossible. And that is why we should not get surprised when the other person doesn't understand us. So all the fights happen because of this play of gunas, which are not matching with the other person. So when you spiritually start understanding this concept, you understand it's a play of guna. For me to expect somebody to behave exactly the same way as I expect is being very naive. Okay, so then you start operating at a high level. However, these duties, they have been planned such that when you do your performance, the material engrossed persons, they gradually learn to control their desires and slowly elevate them from mode of ignorance to the mode of passion, from the mode of passion to the mode of goodness. Okay, so this is why the duties are designed, so that when you do that with the spirit of sacrifice, you will start transcending your gunas. Okay, so if you are lazy, sloth, procrastinating, at least you will become action oriented. If you're action oriented, your action will start aligning to noble things, helping out people, philanthropic deeds, thinking good, all that good virtues. And when you start doing it as a sacrifice to God, you go beyond sattva, which is called Shuddha Sattva. Okay, so these duties are designed so that people uplift themselves in their material lives. Right? People who don't have a sense of responsibility, who don't have enough detachment, they say, right, they are too hung up with their own vain pursuits in life. And people say, get them married. Why? It will bring in a sense of responsibility into them. Then after marriage, then they start thinking of themselves as a center of universe, then kids come along, right? That also teaches them something, selflessness. You have to think about somebody else, not you and yourself alone. So all these things are designed the varna ashram dharma and everything so that you graduate. But if you have already developed or learned your lessons, it's not obligatory, right? You can go from, any stage all the way up to Shuddha Sattva directly. It's not like first you have to be this and then you go to the next and then you go to the next. It's not linear. You can actually transcend from any guna directly to Shuddha Sattva as well. Okay. But God knew that not many people would be truly interested in him. And that is why he is given a framework of all the responsibilities, duties, varnashram, dharma for common people that, okay, at least learn your lessons. You may want to learn it the hard way or smart way, but learn your lessons, do your duties, prescribe duties, learn the lessons, and then uplift yourself until God realization becomes the sole goal of life. That is the whole idea of having the Vedic knowledge. Like 80% of Vedas talks about Karam Kand only, ritualistic stuff only. But God has given us a framework and a manual for us to lead our life purposefully, not like animals, where we are only centered around the 4 basic activities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Okay, and those Vedas, animals don't have access to. I mean, they have access, but they are not endowed with an intellect to understand it. Only humans are. Now, with that, so if you think people say, I don't believe in God, the next best thing for them is to acquire at least sattva, at least become good. Try to strive to become good. From a mode of ignorance, get to the mode of goodness at least. So this is the next best thing to acquiring consciousness about God. God is even beyond goodness, right? Where you acquire Shuddha Sattva. So that is how it goes. A lot of philosophy today. I hope you are keeping pace, but if not, you can always ask questions. Now, Tantra Sar also says yagna to the Supreme Lord himself. See, one of the things that Lord Krishna is saying in this is that yagna, the very act of sacrifice, I reside in it. Right? So if you look at Bhagavatam as well, Shri Krishna is telling Uddhav that yagna is indeed Lord Vishnu himself. Reiterating this principle, Lord Krishna is saying that God is eternally present in the act of sacrifice. So when you do an act of sacrifice, when you do an austerity, God is present in that act. You are actually tapping into the divine. And that is why it says sacrifice purifies. Why would it purify? Because you are tapping into something all pure. We know, right? Everything is tainted with 3 gunas in this material world. Only when you tap into something related to God or a saint who's God realized, then you are tapping into the pure. And now when you do sacrifice, that is also pure because God says, I'm residing in that. That is the importance or the significance of austerity or a sacrifice when we do that in the right spirit. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Now, so how do you make this bicycle run at 100 miles per hour speed, right? This bicycle can only run at 20 miles an hour or 10 maybe. Sam can probably ride it for 50, but bicycle has its limitation, right? So the smart thing to make this bicycle run at a very faster pace is to hook it into a car, okay? Don't try it. I mean, it's not safe, but at least theoretically you understand, right? You tap it into something which is fast, right? If you want the bogie to run faster, you hook it to an engine which can run at a very fast speed, assuming the railroads can support that. So similarly, like a motor car is passing 60 miles, and this is the whole idea. So when you start tapping into divine consciousness, that's when you are actually, your life starts becoming successful. Your intellect, so basically it means you start tapping or hooking your intellect to God. That is the God consciousness. Okay, where you're doing it as a sacrifice or for his pleasure. You're not doing it because you are so great. You always have that consciousness that I'm doing it for the pleasure of my God. Okay. And that's when you start doing that. Now you are giving your mind and intellect an immense boost. The possibilities are infinite after that. Yes, Nehalji, you had a question?
Nehalji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Yes. So, so God has created this Ved and everything, and it has the prescribed duties and everything, and it has the different varnashram and those stages. So, so one has to do all those duties, okay, to get to the bhakti marga and all that. But to all those prescribed duties are in Ved, and but a normal person cannot normal person do not want to read the Ved by themselves. They have to guide by the gurus, the God realized guru. But to get that God realized guru, one has to do the surrender and everything. So in my mind, it is like a vicious cycle. Then it is like chicken or the egg thing. So where to start?
Well, that's a very valid question. Very true. In fact, I was planning to cover this as part of the discussion for Guru 4.34. When Arjuna asks, how do I get this knowledge? And Lord Krishna replies to him. He says, Tad vidhi pranipaten pariprashnena seveya. 4.34. And that's where I will cover all these concepts. Okay. Why Guru is needed? Who's a Guru? How do I get one? And if I don't have one, what do I do? You said, right? Chicken and egg situation. So quickly, I'll not get too detail into that discussion, because this itself will take a full session on how to actually start making progress on our spiritual path. Because otherwise you will say, okay, when God will send a guru and then I will start my spirituality, until then let me just chill out, right? No, it doesn't work that way. It is said that when the disciple is ready, master will appear. And what can a disciple do to get ready? We'll talk about that. For now, whatever is making sense, the very fact that you're sitting in this session or getting access to this knowledge or watching Swamiji's videos or feeling inspired, that means you're already in God's radar. Okay. So whatever little you understand, try implementing it and have a sincerity at heart that I want to meet, God, I need a guru, and then establish that faith so that I can progress faster. It will happen in due course of time. They say, Hari ki kripa se mile guruvar pyare, Guru ki kripa se mile giridhar pyare. So with God's grace, you will land with a guru and you'll have faith also. And with Guru's grace, you will meet God. This is how it works. And when the disciple is ready, master will appear. He has to appear, or she has to appear. There is no other way. So be patient. Whatever little you are understanding, have a sincerity at heart, purity of intention, and start implying it. And in due course of time, you'll be surprised to see you will be working with somebody that will take your spiritual journey to another level altogether. So that is how typical goes, but it's a topic in itself. We'll get into really detail when we get into 4.34, which is going to happen probably another month's time. Okay. So, but this is a very valid question. But what do we do, right? We just work on ourselves. Whatever spiritual knowledge we are able to tap into, we try to implement it, and God is seated within. He knows our intent, right? I spoke about Kshirodakshai Vishnu. He's already seated inside, and he knows the appropriate moment when he will make you meet that divine personality, and that's just a matter of time after that.
Okay. Thank you, Radharani.
Thank you. Yes, Sam. Oh, sorry. Okay, you took down your hand. I think probably I answered your question.
आज आपकी स्पीड थोड़ी तेज थी, तो सब कुछ यहाँ वहाँ से चला गया मेरे हिसाब से, बट ठीक है, that's okay.
Too much of content, I guess, today. Huh?
I guess, yes. And I guess आज का दिन is too fast for us. Wednesdays, Tuesdays night for is too fast for us.
Okay.
Since we have hard stop at 10, so that.
Too many. Okay, maybe I should pace it a little. Okay, maybe I can take a few questions, but what
Please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so in the meantime, to take a break, I will take few announcements. We are doing a Valentine's Day special at RKT on 11th February. It's heart to heart. We have 11th February, I guess. Sunday, is that so?
Yes.
1 second.
Yeah, Radhe.
Yeah, we have a heart screening, consultation, lectures. We have from the Dr. Anand Rohatgi. So please, people who are around Dallas, please come and visit. And it's a good way to look at your heart before you give it to somebody else on 14th. So it's only for people in Dallas, not for people here for us. So I have posted the link also in the chat window. Please come forward and take the pleasure of meeting Dr. Anand Rohatgi. And also we have anything else? I don't think so.
Yes, we have a Seva Sadhana week coming up from March 5th. Check it out. Please book your travel if you are in US. From in India, if you have a tourist visa, you could still avail this opportunity. So do check it out. Family camp is there, but this is going to be amazing as well, where you can immerse yourself in seva and sadhana for an entire week. So wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Do check it out as well. Okay.
And Mahashivratri celebrations.
Shivratri is coming up as well. So we will do it in RKT style like we always do, and going to make Lord Krishna ecstatic. Okay, the way we're going to celebrate it.
Thank you so much for a little pause, little break. Now we can continue, Bhai. We can
I
continue.
think
All yours.
hopefully I have given some opportunity to catch up with some breath. I was being a very fast today. I didn't realize that. Yes,
I
Champaji.
thought so, sir, I took a break. Sorry for that. And thank you so much.
No worries.
for-
I think it was probably needed as well. Yes, Champaji,
Yeah.
you are Urvi and Champa. Let's hear from them. Champaji.
Champaji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I just want to say something about the Guru. Can I?
Yes, please, Champaji.
Actually, the Guru, once we accept somebody as a Guru, we need not be in the physical presence of that Guru. It's not like a classroom where we go and teach. It's a concept, it's an idea, and it's a belief. See, for example, all of you would have heard of the famous saint Shivanand, who established his ashram in Rishikesh. He just read a book, and his guru, he just met him once, and he was a leading medical practitioner in Singapore. He left everything and came to Rishikesh and built up such a thing, and everybody knows how famous and a great saint he is. He met his guru only once. His disciple, Satyananda Saraswati, also, he just gave him the initiation as a sannyasi and asked him to go to Munger to start the ashram. We need not be sitting at his feet, and actually our generation, we are so very lucky. We meet Swamiji, we ask him questions and all that. But that was not like that before. Like Shankaracharya ji, how many disciples would have met him personally? It is not possible. Buddha, for example, even Christ. If you have seen the movie, you're all youngsters, we have famous movie Ben-Hur. In that, they show him only from the back, and the person who sees from his facial expression, they show his God, He keeps on looking back at him, and not many saw Jesus, but the whole world thinks that he is a father. I mean, our father, our God, and our everything. So Guru need not be physically present with us, but we have to firmly believe that he is our Guru, and he is going to guide us, and he will literally fold our hands and take us forth. That's what I wanted to express. Radhe Radhe. Thank you.
Radhe Radhe, Champaji. Very, very true. Very beautiful points. Yes. So once you meet a guru, it's not only a lifetime association, but it transcends multiple lifetimes until you complete your journey. So Guru, once they hold your hand, they don't leave it until you complete your journey. So this association transcends multiple lives. And if you already had a Guru in past life, that message will come so seamlessly in this life that there'll be a natural attraction or an association, you will feel, or pull you will feel, and that will get established immediately. That is typically how it goes. Like Champaji said, it doesn't have to be physically present. In fact, Guru, even though they might have taken Samadhi or they might have closed their particular Leela in this particular lifetime, they are still present, governing, witnessing, protecting you all the times. And they can do your Yogakshem remotely. Yogakshem means they, based on your sadhana, based on your Sharanagat Bhav, they can preserve all the spiritual assets that you have. They will provide more of it, which you need, which you don't have it, which you lack. And they will destroy things which you have and you don't need to progress further. So the Yogakshem aspect of that, your sadhana, God and Guru will make you realize it's happening from time to time. And that is why that association is not limited to the gross body or a physical association alone. It goes much deeper and much longer. Thank you, Champaji, for bringing out that point. I think this discussion is much better. I was going very fast. Let's hear from Urvi and Rahul, and then I think Sandhya has something very exciting to share with us as well. So let's spend some time on this.
Urvi, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe. Actually, I wanted to ask a question. There was a verse from Bhagavatam which stated that God resides in all the sacrifices that we perform, and therefore sacrifice purifies. So I wanted to ask that if someone is performing a sacrifice and it's not with God consciousness, so even then is God residing in the sacrifice?
So that's a good question, actually. So basically, the consciousness does dictate. I will validate it with Swamiji here as well, because your consciousness is dictating here. When you do it with a consciousness that you are doing it for the pleasure of God, then you are truly tapping into the divine. But if you are doing it with a pride or an ego, then you're probably limiting yourself to the extent of sattva only. Right? God is there, but you have kind of limited his hands at that point. He's present in that right act, but if your consciousness is done in a manner that, okay, I'm doing it, I'm the doer, and silently patting yourself, then I think that might be getting limited to sattva at that point. But regardless, you're still purifying yourself, but maybe limiting it to certain extent. But it's a good question, pretty technical question in that sense. So I'll ask this question to Swamiji, because God has very clearly said that I am present in the very act of sacrifice itself. Maybe assuming when you do sacrifice, you'll think about him only. Okay, but I'll check it out with them. It's a very valid question, Urvi. Thank you.
Rahul bhai, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Actually, there is no question. I just wanted to add one more thing to the announcements, that there are still seva opportunities to co-host multiple sessions, including yoga session. So if any of you are interested in that, you can send your names by chat or maybe fill it in the attendance feedback tracker. And the schedules are pretty much flexible according to your availability. Yeah, that is what I just wanted to add. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahul, for bringing that up. So that brings us to maybe a good segue for our next thing that Sandhya is going to talk about. See, we're going to talk about the Seva launch that we are doing. Now, if you get involved in co-hosting, of course, you'll get brownie points. It's a bigger commitment, but you will be the biggest gainer in the sense that that commitment will be there. And when you sit through something, think through something, right? Contemplate on that, you're going to gain big time. And we have started a new session, the satsang, daily satsangs. It's a beautiful way to build a routine. And we are looking for some co-hosts there, and some of our team folks from our session have already signed up for it, which is going to be amazing. Not only for them, it's a great seva. And then the seva teams are going to benefit from it as well, because now we have got some people who are already into seva, and they can be role models for the kind of stuff we can get involved in. So co-hosting is a great way to get involved. Do check it out, and we do have a lot of sessions. Shyamji's journey started with co-hosting, and look at it now, how wonderful it has been. And now he's going to lead a team as well. We're going to talk about that. So Sandhya, over to you. Before that, maybe a quick comment from Sumeshji. You wanted to say something. I know you want to participate, Sumeshji. And even if you don't want to, we'll put your name. Okay. So we don't give you any choice at all. Now you can ask a question.
In the meantime, you said brownie or brownie points. I heard brownie there.
Brownie points. Okay.
Not brownie.
Brownie, if you can find one without egg, yes, we can.
We have plenty.
Okay, vegan brownie when we meet at that point.
Okay.
For that, there's a small technical problem though, Shyamji. You will have to file for your tourist visa to get a brownie, okay?
And in the meantime, I came to know from the Vishwasniya Sutras that today is Shri Rama's birthday. So हम सब की ओर से उनको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं, श्री रम्या जी.
Thank you for bringing that up. And Shri Ramya, you can turn on your video and give us a smile back if you don't mind. We will certainly not mind it. And many, many happy returns of the day. And she signed up for a seva today. So that's a wonderful way to celebrate your birthday and get started with that. So many, many happy returns of the day, and loads of love and wishes from God and Guru, sending your way.
Yeah.
A devotional year ahead.
Thank you so much. Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Nitin ji. Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. I have a question that Sri Krishna said that Yat karosi yadasnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasya kante yat purusamadharpanam. That means when we do bad thing, then we offer them it.
Okay, it's a good question, technical question. So what you are saying basically is when God is saying Yat Karoshi Yad Nasi, right? I think it is 9.27. It's a very important shloka. Yat Juhoshi Dadasi Yat Pasyasi Konte Tat Kurushva Madarpanam, right? So yes, it's an important concept. When we do bad things, we don't offer it to God. Okay, keep that in mind. It's not because God's rule is He'll multiply it and give it back to you. So if you don't, you take accountability, responsibility for that, and say, God, make me such that only good things happen through me, or good thoughts come through me, and then you offer it back to God. Bad things, you take it on yourself and seek God's help so that it doesn't happen again. You don't offer bad deeds to God. He'll multiply and give it back to you. Okay? So it's very risky. Hope that answers you, Sumeshi.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
And Sumeshi, can we sign you up for Seva as well?
Sorry, this time it not able.
Okay, this time we'll talk offline in that case. No worries. Okay, thank you, Sumeshi. So over to you, Sandhya. Let's move on to the next segment that you wanted to talk about.
भाई, एक बात बताएंगे आप सब लोगों को श्लोकास कैसे याद हो जाते हैं विद चैप्टर और वर्स नंबर भी? मैं तो कब से ट्राई कर रहा हूँ गीता पढ़ने की, समझने की। आप लोग ऐसे ऐसे श्लोकास बोलते हैं विद द चैप्टर और वर्स।
नहीं, वो it's like that parrot can also get into a routine, right? At least for me, it's the same way. But आपको सेवा में हमने लीडर बनाया है, अब आप देखिए कैसे कैसे चमत्कार होंगे आपके साथ थोड़ी टाइम में।
ठीक है, संध्या, over to you.
That is a secret recipe, okay? If you want to, over to you, Sandhya.
Okay, Radhe Radhe, you can see this screen.
I see a smiling face, yeah.
So actually, good thing is we have 3 of the team leaders present over here with their cameras on. So I guess like people who are already in the teams can see who are your team leaders, and the ones who would like to join, even today, you can send in your names. If you have already sent and your name is not there, please inform us. So actually, I don't know, how do should I say everything again, Nitinji? Like,
No, that's fine. So basically, these are the 4 teams we have formed. In the spirit of Seva, we have called them selfless. These are the 4 things that you would need as part of your Seva: enthusiastic, vinamra, and ananya. Now, the way it's going to work is we are going to give you some very prescriptive stuff. Once you get into a routine, it will be very simple for you. We'll share some handles with you. And it will be like, yeah, that's good. You brought up that screen, right? These are some of the things we'll share with you. And a tracker as well, where you simply go in and fill it that, okay, I did this small save of liking this comment, sharing it, or commenting on it. Or for the sevas, which require a little more effort on you and time commitment on your side, like content creation or co-hosting, like some of you have picked up co-hosting, which is going to be a wonderful seva. Then you get brownie points. That means you may get, instead of 1, you may get 3 points. And it is going to be an honor-based system. If you say I did this and I did that, we will honor that. And leads are going to drive and get creative on how to do that. So see, the competition would be there, but I don't want competition to take forefront. Okay, it's more about inculcating the spirit of seva and getting into your routine. Rest all can follow, right? And once you start building into your routine, you will realize it will grow on you and you'll love it. And you'll say, thank you. Now seva is becoming an integral part of my life and we really want to do more. And we'll leave it up to you at that point. But let's get into a rhythm and get this going. And you may start small based on your appetite, time availability. But once you make it a commitment, not something as, when you have time or convenience, then you will see how many benefits you will start reaping from it. And if you are in the process able to inspire somebody on this path, which is a very likelihood, all of you have come here because you've heard it from somebody or a link came your way, then you are fulfilling the purpose of Krishna also, right? In 18.68, he says, person who gives my message or gets somebody on this path is extremely dear to me. So if you want to become dear to Krishna, that's a great way. Okay, you never know who may get inspired. They'll say, okay, Shyamji sent me this, or Urvi told me this, and because of it, I am here. One day, 1 year down the line, we may be talking a lot of such stories. So let's get started, and we will probably do a weekly quick recap, and bi-monthly we can do that, right? How teams are performing, and let's just feel free to paint your canvas as you want, and we'll improvise as we go. But it's just a start. Anything else, Sandhya, you wanted to say that I missed out on?
Like just for the team members, do not worry how and how things will happen, when will it start. Your team leads will get to you and they will explain you whatever you need to do and how the logistics will work out. We have amazing, excellent team leads who will actually inspire all of us and take us further, right, Shyamji, on this journey of Seva.
And
Perfect.
we need to
And how
stay
do we
away
add
from
members in our team, Sandhya and Bhai?
We will have WhatsApp groups for that, and
you
we
can
will
create that. Feel free to organize yourself. We will give you freedom on that, okay? But the key thing is we need to stay away from envy, anger, resentment, all that stuff. So you will see the way sevas are designed, automatically those situations will present itself. Now you'll have a choice. Will you fall for this, or will you choose a higher sentiment of seva around it? So it's a good mini test, that gets created for ourselves when we start doing seva. So
But I don't see
follow
their
that.
name.
Pardon?
I don't see their names. Envy, anger, resentment. I can't see.
No, you can't see that.
They're not there.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's how it's meant to be. It's good, right? If it's not there, we'd like to keep. So the key thing is you may want to share your reflections around what you are feeling while doing this seva, and be honest about it, because like I said, seva is a crash course on life. So it's a great opportunity on working on ourselves and sharing what kind of challenges we feel, when the way things start panning out. So let's use it as a laboratory, our sessions, and see, we are doing intellectual discussion, then we added the devotional segment. The thing that was missing is seva. So this is a good platform to do that. And as we do that, I'm sure more people will come forward and would like to enroll for it. I think we have taken care of all of you who have expressed interest, but keep filling in the feedback tracker and we'll find a team for you. And you will be amazed to see where it takes you within a matter of few months when you start making seva commitment and start sparing a little bit of that slice of your life doing seva.
इसमें जो एक आपने इसमें लिखा था पॉइंट्स करने के लिए सेवा, जो ये लोग ऑलरेडी काम करते आ रहे उनका क्या? जैसे मैं तो ये करता रहता हूँ।
So you get points.
तो अब से स्कोरिंग शुरू हो जाएगा।
शुरू हो जाएगी। टाइमिंग योर
तो आप लोग कर रहे हैं, उसका स्कोर्स लगेंगे।
My video is on. I chat, I comment, I talk nonsense at times.
So we have split people so that you can start logging points. You get credit for all of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Shyamji's team is leading already.
And who is Samyukta? Is she Samji? Samji is annoyed. She wants her name to be a Sam, not other way. So somebody has to change her name to Sam again. Otherwise, she's out.
Okay, and I'll change that. And for other participants, if anybody wants to ask any question or want their name to be added right now, please feel free to raise your hand.
Anita ji is saying, please add her name. Anita Ramana ji.
Anita ji, please add her name as well. So Samyukta got a promotion and became Samji, and now she says, I deserve another promotion, and she has become Sam now. Okay, so let's call her Sam.
I will add Anita ji and I'll make Sam.
So when we started these sessions, whenever I will say Shamji, Samji would raise his hand, okay, and come. And when else is Samji, Shamji would raise his hand. So we have another Samji now, okay, just to thicken the plot.
Swarna ji has raised hand. Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Swarna ji, please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I'm from Bangalore and I wanted to be a part of the Seva.
Awesome.
Good.
Feedback tracker, let's post the feedback tracker. You can fill it in and we will have you started, Swarna ji. You are just at the right place, okay? We just have lot of sevas here. Okay. And for all the teams, if you are able to bring in more participants to the session, you get point for that as well, okay? That is a common denominator for all the teams, other than the very prescribed sevas that we will have for you. Okay, so please keep spreading the word around and get your friends and family. I think most of you have come because somebody has told you, come over and do that. So that goes without saying. All of you can continue to do that.
By any point, can somebody get me? If I get more points, can somebody make me come to Dallas immediately?
Yes, they are travel points. We'll see how we can convert some of these points to travel points, or otherwise. That's a fair call, Shyamji.
That can happen, Shyamji.
That can happen. That can happen.
Okay, our another leader has raised hand. Shri Ramya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Shreya, happy birthday
Uh,
once again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nitinji. Thank you, everyone. Radhe Radhe. Regarding Swarna ji, she told that she's at Bangalore. I just wanted to say that we have a meet up in Bangalore on Feb 19th. If you could get in touch with any of the Bangalore groups or participants, or Veena ji or me, I could send over the details for all of them who are listening and who are in Bangalore. We could meet on Feb 19th.
Yeah, Swarnaji, we have local chapters of satsang going on as well. So you may want to patch up with some of our existing folks who have been, attending sessions for a while, and they also have a local satsang there. So you may want to check it out, Shriramya. And if you fill out your feedback tracker, I can patch you up with Shriramya, Swarnaji. But glad to have you, and welcome to the our sessions. Would love to hear more from you as we go along.
And my
Request,
next
Nitin bhai. Sorry.
the counting starting, when are the points and when is starting officially?
Kind of
sorry.
started. So the team leads will now make their WhatsApp groups, and we will connect offline about the logistics. So
We'll share the tracker with you where you can start logging in your activities, and we will do a bi-weekly consolidation to see how the points are faring. Urvi is already thinking ahead, so good luck, Urvi.
Yes. I guess
Small request, one request, that at least the team leaders can put the cameras on when they talk. That
Maybe
we
we
can
can
get some models.
incentivize that also as a brownie point. Okay, occasionally we can incentivize people who increase their engagement. See, we can get as creative as we want now. Now that we have a framework, let's get it going, and then we have a lot of levers to increase the engagement. And so I think there are a lot of possibilities it opens up for.
And I have a suggestion. Please do not say brownie points, please. Any point will do. Do not say brownie. One request.
Okay, bonus point.
Bonus point sounds good.
Anything sounds good.
Okay.
Except brownie.
Okay, sure. Bonus points in that case. Any other questions related to Seva or otherwise, since we have maybe 2 more minutes?
Just one more thing. I think it's another Raviji's birthday as well today. As per US, it's Raviji's birthday. As per India, it is Shri Ramyaji's birthday. So happy birthday to both
Very,
of
very
you.
happy returns of the day.
Okay, Anita ji has raised hand. Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Anita ji.
Radhe Radhe. Just for a joke, like what if we don't get the points when we don't get the chance to recite?
When you don't
because
get,
of the time constraints.
then I think I would blame it on Prarabdha. Okay.
Oh, that's
maybe,
not fair.
or maybe Honi in that case. But what we'll do is, maybe to rationalize it, we can spin the wheel, okay? Just to see who gets the luck, spin of the wheel that day. I think it's a good point. People who come forward for recitation, you can express your interest. I'll spin the wheel and we can tie it to the points. We'll get creative with that. But Anita ji, I get your point. We'll see if we can do something better than Honi and Prarabdha in that case, okay? But let's get started in the spirit of Seva. And not lose the big picture. I know it will get competitive, but we'll not lose the big picture around it as well. So, okay. Now I think we can wrap up our session. Yeah, thank you, Anita ji. Please fill out the feedback tracker if you have not, and we'll assign you to the appropriate teams. So, Radhe Radhe from my side, I'll hand it over to Ajay and Sunil Bhai for the next session. Stay safe, stay blessed. We'll continue on our discussion tomorrow on an important topic like we always do. So, Radhe Radhe from my side. Good night, good day.
Thank you.
Bye.